Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents, where you can find people that think they deserve the utmost respect because of their sweet demon spawns. Today we've got 3 stories. In the first one, an entitled mom gets fired because she has no respect for her manager and thinks she doesn't need to listen to her because she doesn't have kids. In the second one, an entitled mom and her hellspawn at a paintball park take OP's eye protection and then proceed to try to shoot out his eye. And the last story is about some rich parents letting their kid run around under a scaffolding while people are working and put everyone in danger. And before we jump in, this Tibetan sandfox has a very unimpressed expression on his face because he can see that you haven't subscribed yet, so please consider subscribing so Tibetan sandfox isn't so disappointed. This story is called "The Time a Couple of My Employees Were Extremely Mad at Me for Firing a Disrespectful Garbage Waitress Just Because She Has Kids." This happened a couple years ago, but I randomly was thinking about it and thought you guys might get a kick out of the ridiculousness. I had this employee who was a woman in her late 30s or early 40s and was your stereotypical mom bee. I'm a good deal younger than her, and at the time I was like 26 or 27. Right away, it became clear that she had an issue answering to a woman much younger than her. She talked back a lot and made it clear that she felt like she knew more than me and shouldn't have to listen to me when she disagreed. She would frequently bring up the fact that I had no kids and she had 4 to disregard my management abilities, as if it was in any way relevant. Here's just a couple anecdotes of what I regularly dealt with from her. We had a problem with employees being on their phones excessively, her being one of the worst offenders. I did an employee meeting where I reminded everyone that they weren't allowed to be on their phones at all, and we would be a lot more strict about that moving forward. She interrupted my speech to say, "Well, the problem is, your generation can't handle being off their phones for more than 2 minutes." I pointed out that she was on her phone all the time too. It's different. When I'm on my phone, I'm looking at things for my kids, not trying to hook up on Tinder or play Candy Crush. I told her the reason people were on their phones didn't matter unless it was an actual emergency, and she rolled her eyes. She tried to argue with me about the fact that I would only schedule her during the day and not nights. Nights are more lucrative because customers buy more alcoholic drinks, thus higher tips. I reminded her that when she took the job, she was signing up specifically for day shifts, and most of my waitresses are college students and have class during the day, so there's not any flexibility with their scheduling requirements. She proceeded to yell at me that her desires should trump theirs because she's a mom and she needs more money than them, and slammed my office door shut behind her when I wouldn't cave. The final straw was that I heard from one of the waitresses, who I'm very close to, about how she would talk about how she didn't respect me as a manager, and often brought up my lack of desire for kids. She would also apparently say things like, "I'm not going to take orders from someone who hasn't even matured past the 'I don't want kids' phase." Between the constant blatant disrespect and the fact that she was barely a passable waitress anyway, I decided to fire her. 2 waitresses confronted me, telling me it was wrong of me to fire her, and begged me to give her her job back. They had no defense for her crappiness, only, "She has 4 kids." If she has 4 kids dependent on her, it's on her that she repeatedly treated her boss like total crap. It's not like I fired her over one incident. There were countless instances of horrid behavior and blatant disregard for authority that she openly and shamelessly stated was rooted in ageism and my maternal status. So yeah, it's a shame that her kids had to suffer for their mom's behavior, but that's her responsibility, and I have no regrets for throwing out the trash. And good for you for throwing out the trash, as you put it, OP. It's people like this that need a serious wake-up call that their parental status does not put them above anyone else. And if you didn't fire her and just continued to put up with all her crap, that would just perpetuate her entitled attitude. I would say that maybe this would teach her that not everything's going to be handed to her in life just because she's a parent, but this type of person tends to have a very big ego, and it won't be broken that easy. So more than likely, she'll just continue this kind of attitude with her future jobs for years to come. I bet if she were something like a janitor at NASA, she would go to the scientists and be like, "You should listen to me on how to build rocket ships because you don't even have kids, and I have 4. This story's called "Entitled Mom Tries to Shoot My Eye Out at a Paintball Park." So me and my dad, mostly me, are really into paintball. I got a Geo 4 and a new freak kit for my birthday, and I like to be comfortable when I'm playing, meaning I don't like to wear winter clothing while playing. My dad and I thought we should just wait for spring to roll around, meaning now. As me and my dad are entering the pro shop, Entitled Mom comes up to me and asks if I would go easy on her kids, who we'll call Entitled Kid 1 and 2. I say sure because I could tell that they were younger than me and they were new to paintball. Me and my dad are filling up our pods and hoppers so we can start heading down to the field to play. But Entitled Mom came up to me and my dad to ask if we could give them some paint. "Could we have a case or 2 of your paint, please?" said Entitled Mom. "Sorry ma'am, but me and my dad are planning to use all of our cases of paint," I replied. The dad of the entitled kid then says, "Jenny, we should be fine. We can always buy more if we need any more." "But they have so much paint, they aren't gonna use all of it," said the entitled mom. Now, may I remind you that me and my dad are really into paintball, so we usually get 6 cases of paint to last us the whole day. My dad says, "If we have any left over at the end of the day, we'll give the rest of the paint to you." Entitled mom snarled at us in disgust, like we just pissed on each other right in front of her. Skip an hour and 30 minutes or so, and me and my dad are on the opposite team of the family. Now, call me a prick, but I wanted to get the mom out as disrespectfully as I could, but in a way that is deemed sportsmanlike. Now, at this paintball park, bunkering was allowed, which is when you shoot someone up close, and I planned to use it to my fullest extent. As I'm playing, Entitled Kid 1 and 2 are not calling a single hit, and are wiping off the paint marks. I get pissed, and I go for the hand because being shot in the hand is one of those spots you don't want to get hit, along with your boobs, crotch, neck, and eye. Entitled Kid 1 starts crying, and a referee takes him out of the match. The mom was pissed. She started to walk towards me, and as soon as she was 20 feet away, I popped 3 in her leg and 1 on the mask. The referee pulled her out of the match, and the game ended. As we're in the safe zone, Entitled Kid 2 finds my GO2 paintball gun and starts to fake shoot people with it. I snatched it away from him and tell him to never point guns at things. Entitled Kid 2 says, "Can I use your gun, please?" No, my gun is important to me and is also very expensive. I don't want anything to happen to it. Entitled Kid 2 says, "I want to use the gun now." The kid's dad then cuts in, "Chad, let's go over there and look at the other matches." "No, I want to use the gun," said the kid. "Why won't you let him use the gun?" asked Entitled Mom. My dad responds, "I just got it for him for his birthday, and this is brand new and quite expensive. We just don't want to run any risk of damage." And Entitled Mom says, "Oh, come on, our guns costed $50 each. Your gun isn't expensive at all. It's just like all the others." The game was about to start, but I realized Entitled Kid 1 took my mask. As I'm chasing Kid 1 around the safe zone, Entitled Kid 2 shoots me 8 times under my eye. I turned around to see Entitled Mom helping her Hellspawn shoot me. I snapped. Me and my dad say, "What the F are you doing? I could have lost an eye, or worse. And you just helped your son do this to me? The actual F, lady." The 2 kids start to cry, and Entitled Mom was crying too. A ref came over to see what the problem was, and Entitled Mom tried to play the victim by saying that I was framing them by rubbing paint on my face to make it look like they shot me. I swear. The Entitled Kid's dad gathered all his strength to say that his wife and son did it, and that he was done with her. The cops were called by me and my dad, and we pressed charges against Entitled Mom, and our court date is being decided. And yes, we gave all of our paint to the dad at the end of the day. What a menace that family is. This is yet another mom encouraging their kids act recklessly and put other people in danger like it's some kind of game. Son, when you want other people's stuff and they say no, just take it anyway and also shoot their eyes out for good measure. That's today's lesson in parenting by Entitled Mom. This one's called Entitled Mom Let Entitled Kid Run Around While I'm on a Scaffolding, hanging $40,000 worth of wallpaper in their $3.5 million mansion. So my girlfriend and I have a high-end wallpaper business, where we hang in the craziest houses in my city. NFL, NBA legends, those types of places. They have all been so nice and respectful. I mean, you hired me to do what only I can do. It's the everyday people with a ton of money that seem to be the most entitled. Hanging Philip Jeffries in a 9,900 square foot place and on a scaffolding. Hanging a ceiling while your entitled kid runs around like a maniac isn't ideal for either myself or your kid. I have blades in my hand that sometimes drop, as well as other materials that could injure him or make him sick if consumed. I've consistently mentioned this to her, but it falls on deaf ears, so I call my girlfriend, the OG hanger that recruited me. And she shows up immediately because she especially has no tolerance for this crap, and she acts as though she came to assist me. 20 minutes in, and she mentions to Entitled Mom that he can't continue this, as it's endangering everyone. And Entitled Mom just brushes it off for the second time. My girlfriend gets down and starts packing her tools. She tells Entitled Mom she won't continue working and endangering us. Entitled Mom says she has $40K worth of paper, and my girl just looks at her and says, well, she better start hanging. Was it a good job? Yes, but we are booked months out, so it won't hurt us. Self-respect is more important than money ever will be. And this was r/Entitled Parents. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you made it this far, consider dropping a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Stay beautiful, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.